2020. Question number 39. In which account of the balance of payment would an inflow of foreign direct investment be recorded? See, this is why you need to hate the exam. They put questions like this also after you study so much and go. Where do we put foreign direct investment? Primary income, capital account, financial account, second income, current account. I'm telling you, if you can't even answer this, that means you have not studied at all. Where do we put foreign direct investment? Inflow of foreign direct investment comes in your financial account. So foreign direct investment, portfolio investment, all of it, financial account. Okay, you're struggling with this means you need to go back to your theory and learn. Then going to 40. Floating exchange rates refer to. Don't know who made the paper, no, in 2020. Exchange rates for failing to adjust when destabilizing by shocks to the foreign exchange market. Exchange rates maintained by the government through the interventions in the exchange market. Exchange rates determined by the demand and supply. Situation where excess demand, excess supply, nonsense. Which one is our answer? Which one is a floating exchange rate? Come on. Answer number 3, no. The exchange rate determined based on the demand and supply of the currency. Can you give me another name for a floating exchange rate? A flexible. Nice. Then the next one. And IMF, bit of a current context question. They are saying the solution proposed by the IMF, which was established to help countries that have balance of payment and foreign exchange reserve problems. Now, see, now I just want you all to learn this. Is here, see, when did Sri Lanka go to the IMF? Last year. 2022 only we officially went to the IMF. Okay, 2022. Last year in September only we got the staff level agreement. This year in March only we got the initial board level agreement, the first set of funds. And the second set of funds will most likely come, I'm assuming somewhere around the 13th of December. That is what I feel. The review meeting is happening on the 12th. Given that we successfully pass, sometimes that day itself we might get it. So I feel within the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, if we pass that meeting, within those 2-3 days, we will get the money. Yes, first amount of money came in March. Second one is now coming in December. Now see, what I'm trying to tell you here is, this is the 2020 A-level paper. Okay. This IMF part, we have not even gone to the IMF when this paper was tested. That's what I'm trying to show you. Did we go to the IMF in 2020? No. This is the COVID year when exams happened in February. 2020 February, lamai. We went to the IMF in 2022 February. 2020 February, this is the paper. 2020, it would have been made a little before, not sorry. This was made in 21 February, sorry. So 1 year before only this paper was released. We have not even gone to the IMF. So can you see? Current context questions might not be always about something that has already happened. It can be about something that the country is talking about. So in 2020, many people were saying, let's go to the IMF. We'll go, we need to go. But then Cabral was saying, no, IMF don't need, we can handle. Then Cabral went on and he ruined the country. So see, those things you have to be aware. IMF is to grant loans in domestic debt restructure and foreign debt. No, they don't grant loans in this thing. They encourage you to restructure your loan to make your debt sustainable. Okay. Right. So we'll see. What is the main solution that they are saying? Number 1, revaluation of the country's currency. Okay. lending to the foreign exchange reserves through repurchasing and reverse repurchase agreement. Okay? Help to re-establish a country's exchange rate at a higher level. Purchasing the country's assets abroad and converting them to foreign currencies. Helping the country to find new markets for export. What do you think, Love? Now, this is use a little bit of your common sense, cut off answers, see if you can come to one. Solution proposed by the IMF for countries that have BOP reserve problem. If you have a BOP reserve problem, what is something that the IMF is telling us to do? IMF is saying, okay, go and do this. Which one? What are they? Revaluation of the exchange rate? I don't think. IMF will not tell us revalue. They might ask you to devalue, to bring it down if you have a BOP problem. You have a trade deficit and all, then bring it down, they might say. They might not say revalue. Number one is gone. Okay. Then we are left with 4 answers. Which one? Others also, I want you to practically think. Now, this is where your thinking comes. There will be questions that you have not been prepared for. I am pretty sure whoever who did A-levels in 2020 didn't even think about the IMF. I also honestly didn't teach anything about the IMF. In 2020, we never went to the IMF. Even in my classes, I never taught IMF in 2020. For 2020's batch, no IMF. For your batch only, we talked about IMF. So, which one? You have to now think of it. Re-establish the exchange rate at a higher level. Now, if you re-establish your exchange rate at a higher level, like you're appreciating your exchange rate, again, Lama, I can cut off 3. Purchasing the country's assets abroad and converting them to foreign currencies, again, I feel is not a solution. Okay. You have 2 and 5. What do you think the IMF would have been talking about? Not the world trade. Now, Lamai, will IMF help us find new markets abroad? Will they help us find new export markets? IMF? No. That might be someone like the World Trade Organization. They might, kind of shape a help. IMF is not going to tell us and find us foreign trade markets and give me money. So number 5 there is also gone. Then we are only left with number 2. What is number 2? Lending the country foreign exchange reserves. Okay, so IMF, now what did they do for us also? They gave us dollars, no? They gave us loans in terms of dollars. They lent us foreign exchange reserves. But whatever they give, we put it to our reserve. Through repurchase and reverse repurchase account. That is not what is happening in Sri Lanka right now. They are not purchasing a treasury bills or bonds. Now, this is before Sri Lanka's IMF program. So, this is not really what Sri Lanka's IMF program is. And see, even in the question, have they mentioned Sri Lanka? What have they said? Solution by the IMF for countries that have BOP problem. Have they said this is the solution for Sri Lanka? No. And this is not the solution that they gave for Sri Lanka also. So, for that point, this is the most correct answer that we can talk about. How does it affect the BOP? So, all of this money, BOP, your reserves, when IMF give loans and all that comes into your BOP reserves. We can pay interest if they talk about repurchase. Yes, no, even the IMF loan that they are giving us right now, Lamai, it's a loan. It's not a grant. We have to repay. But it's a concessionary loan, meaning we have a long repayment period and interest rates are very low. So have that in mind. IMF is not just giving us money. These are IMF loans, Naya. And it's not Sahanadar, it's not grants. These are all loans. Have that in mind. Okay. Then 42. Make a ball. Okay, interesting question. We'll see. Diagram below shows the value of the Sri Lankan rupee in terms of the dollar. Direct quotation, indirect quotation. Just look at the diagram and tell me. This is the direct quotation diagram or the indirect quotation diagram? This is the indirect. No, they have given 1 rupee equals how much dollars? They have given the decimals. Remember, we drew all these diagrams. So what has happened? What will be the effect of the shift in demand for the Sri Lankan rupees from D1 to D2? What will be the effect? Lamai, what has happened? $1 rupee which was $0.006 has become 1 rupee 0.005. Rupee has appreciated or depreciated. You get this wrong, you get the question wrong. Earlier 1 rupee is equal to 0.006. Now 1 rupee is equal to only 0.005. Our LKR lamai has depreciated. You have to be very careful with these. Okay. So how to find appreciation depreciation? That is with, I'm hoping you can use your common sense and figure out with logic. That's why when you memorize it becomes harder. So earlier 1 rupee is $0.006. Now 1 rupee is only $0.005. So rupee value has gone down. That's why we say LKR has depreciated. Indirect quotation. On the other side, US dollar has appreciated. Now see, what are they asking us in the question, Lamai? In the question, they are asking, what will be the effect of this shift? They are not asking, why did this shift? They are not saying, why did this shift? They are asking, what will be the effect? Now, because of the shift, LKR has depreciated. Because of this, what will happen now? Well, go through the answers. Sri Lankan exports will be expensive. When the Sri Lankan rupee depreciates, will Sri Lankan exports be expensive? Sri Lankan exports will be cheaper. No. It will be cheaper for Sri Lankan tourists to visit USA. Now, when our currency has depreciated, is it cheaper for us to go there? No, it's expensive for us to go there. For them to come here, cheap. Third one, Sri Lankan treasury bonds will be cheap for the US investor. Do you think? If our currency has depreciated, they can now buy our treasury bonds at a cheaper price. No? Let's say 1 million word treasury bond. Now they can buy it at a cheaper price because our currency has depreciated. This can be our answer. Sri Lanka treasury bonds will be more expensive. No, our currency has depreciated. It will be more cheaper. Cost of imports from USA will decrease. No, our currency has depreciated. Means now whatever we import from USA is more expensive. Cost will rise, not decrease. Okay. So answer number. See, like same thing every year, but they turn it around a little. Sometimes they give a diagram here. Sometimes they give some numbers. Sometimes they give like a sentence, and you have to figure it out. So same thing repeated in different ways. Same thing will come in your paper also. So go prepare. Okay. Right. 2020 is done. How did you all do in 2020? There were 4 questions. How to find a depreciation? Yes, that is coming from very basic theory. To find whether the currency has appreciated or depreciated. Okay. So just to go through Lamai, to find out now, for example, this is problems with you not learning your theory, right? In a direct quotation, let's say 1 US dollar was, let's say, 200 rupees. And then it went to 1 US dollar, went to, let's say, 250 rupees. So how do we read this? This is, earlier to buy a dollar, we had to pay 200 of our currency. Now to buy a dollar, we have now paid 250 of our currency. Now we have to give more rupees to buy one of their currency. So our rupee has got depreciated. Or you can think of the other way. Earlier with $1, they can buy only 200. Now they can buy 250 of our currency. So the LKR has depreciated. You can look it at that way. Then same thing in the indirect quotation, you look it this way. So 1 LKR equals 0.006 US dollars. Now 1 LKR is equal to only 0.005 US dollars. That's an indirect quotation. That is again a depreciation. Earlier with 1 rupee, we can buy $0.06. Now with 1 rupee, we can only buy $0.04. That is also a LKR appreciation part I didn't go. That's the opposite of that. So I'm hoping you all can figure this out. Lamai. These are normal theory. And again, I'm telling you all, if you all Lamai are completely blank with certain areas, given that we have a little time to go, I will say leave it. Let's say no matter how much you study, you don't understand this part, don't waste around 2 days to figure it out. Leave it, right? You can skip the essay question, MCQs 1 or 2 MCQs, leave it, sir. Because if you waste 2-3 days to figure out appreciation, depreciation, I feel it's a waste of time. Okay, right? 2020 is done.